F1 testing for the 2013 season has finished, and what a weekend it was out in Barcelona. Now, Mercedes struggled with the first two sessions of testing this year, but they managed to pull it out of the bag this weekend. Lewis Hamilton set the fastest lap on Saturday with a 1:20.55 lap. Now, this time was even faster than the time he set at the Spanish Grand Prix last year when he qualified on pole. His teammate Nico Rosberg then went out on Sunday and set an even faster lap of 1:20.13. Now, it's worth pointing out at this moment that Rosberg was doing a single lap run when he set his fastest time, but Lewis was at the beginning of a 5-lap run. So if we know that 10 kilos of fuel means 0.38 seconds slower on a lap, then we can see that Lewis could have gone even faster. So it seems that the Brackley-based team have really improved since 2012 and are really catching those front runners on the grid. Just 3/10 behind Nico Rosberg was Ferrari's Fernando Alonso. They're going to be making their final aerodynamic upgrades to the car before qualifying in Melbourne, which is slightly later than the rest of the teams. Red Bull were keeping their cards close to their chest as always, and we even saw Vettel allow Alonso to pass him out on the track, making sure he couldn't see the rear end of the car. Vettel said afterwards that they've been really struggling to get to grips with the new Pirelli tyres, and he said it was the most inconclusive testing sessions he's seen. McLaren's Jenson Button says they've been struggling to understand their new revolutionary car, the MP428, but he says the car's nice to drive, which is lucky because he's going to be spending quite a lot of time in it over the season. Also, we can't rule Jenson out of Melbourne, of course. He's won there 3 times out of the last 4 years, so we'll have to watch him in qualifying in 2 weeks' time. Lotus had a driver and technical malfunction. Kimi Raikkonen rang in sick on Saturday morning, but he was back in the car on Sunday, only to find they had a gearbox malfunction. Then he managed to get out in the afternoon, and he managed to finish the day in 5th place. Williams have been described as the best of the rest, and Pastor Maldonado finished the day in the midfield, so we'll have to watch out for him in qualifying too. Sauber have been pretty quiet this weekend. Nico Hülkenberg and Esteban Gutierrez weren't even able to finish their race simulation, so it doesn't look like they're going to be competing with the big boys this season. Force India have been getting used to having Adrian Sutil back in the team, but that hasn't been a problem. Both Sutil and Paul di Resta managed to complete full race distances, so the VJM06 looks like it's going to be pretty reliable this season. Nothing outstanding from Toro Rosso, but they do seem to be heading in the right direction after they seemed to reverse down the starting order last year. Marussia's winter development seems to have finally nudged them ahead of Caterham, and they've finally sorted out their driver lineup. Louis Rathia has had to forego his seat after his Brazilian sponsors failed to cough up the money. So Jules Bianchi has stepped in and will now drive alongside teammate Max Chilton. And it's all changed at Caterham. Not only have they got a new team manager, a new team base, but they've also got 2 new drivers, Guido van der Garde and Charles Pic. The team won't have their comprehensive upgrade package until they're back at Circuit de Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix in May, so it's going to be a game of wait and see with them, I think. So that's how things stand at the end of testing, and it's been useful for the drivers and the teams to get used to the new Pirelli tyres and to try out some new setups. But of course it all comes down to qualifying in Melbourne, and it's less than 2 weeks away now. We'll be there, so if you want to keep up to date with everything going on in the world of F1, subscribe to Pole Position.